Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. So I have actually decided to take the summer off. Now you might be listening to this a little later. However, over the next 10 weeks, I'm bringing you content and things I've been sharing in different outlets. So it's been a few different things. I want to take some time off to really be with my kids. Also, the camp that I usually have my kids in a couple times a week just didn't have space for me this year. So I kind of had to rearrange my summer, and I've decided to just be with them this summer and spend time with them because, they're only this young for like now. So I have kind of reshifted things, and this is just a time for me to take a break. However, I didn't want to leave you hanging. It was a really, really big decision for me to kind of go and take a break. I usually bring you episodes every week, and that's a thing I love to do to make sure that I'm there for you. And so I'm not fully gone. I'm just sharing things that I've talked about in the past that I haven't talked about here necessarily. So good, juicy, amazing stuff. Just I've shared it elsewhere, and now I'm going to bring it here to you. So it's actually going to be over the next 9 weeks. There'll be episodes for my Wow Wednesdays that I did a few years ago. And the last one, it will be an episode from a coffee chat that I did. It was on Facebook Live years ago as well. So like I said, good, juicy, awesome stuff. And I just wanted to share it with you here. So get comfortable and enjoy. Hello and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I'm Jody Misiak, and every Wednesday I bring you a short online video for some wow free training. So just to wow your world. So last week we talked about my one friend who's a twin, fear. And today I'd like to talk about the other one, failure. So why do so many of us hate failure? Like, why do us, like, I know personally, if I failed at anything, I felt like I wasn't good enough. Why? Are you with me? Like, who else? I have two hands up, because there are so many times in my life where if I fell down on my face, I'd be so ashamed of myself. I'd feel like a failure, obviously. I didn't feel good enough. And I'm like, why can't I do this? So why do so many of us have this problem with failure? Why do we hate this person so much? Because I'm breaking it down into people here. So why do we have such a problem with failure? Why can't we make it have it be our friend? Because society has taught us that we have to succeed. We have to be, there's this stigma where you have to show up and be good at stuff. And the funny thing is like, we can't just hop on a bike and ride it. When we were a kid, we had to, I know our kids have like training wheels, and then you take the training wheels off. And even for my daughter, she had a hard time pedaling at first. So you have to start off really small. Same with when we were kids, like we didn't just come out of the womb and walk. First, we had to learn how to sit. Yes, our bodies had to develop, but yes, we had to learn how to sit. Then we figured it out and we got to our hands and knees. And then we started walking and then running and then climbing. Whole other story. Some actually people climb before walking. So where did it go where we have to do everything right all the time? When did it, when did it change that we couldn't just slowly learn something? And why isn't it okay that we try something and it doesn't work out? So there's just been so many times in my life that I felt like a failure. And I picked up this book over the summer, thanks to a wonderful colleague and friend who recommended it. So it's called Failing Forward. So that is the book that has changed my whole perspective on failing, where it's not about failing. It's about learning. So there's this really cool saying from, I don't think it's in this book. It's John Maxwell is the author, and he has another book that's called Sometimes I Win, Sometimes I Learn. So that has been my whole new take on things. Like, you don't win or it's always about growing and learning, and it's not so much about failing. And like I mentioned in I think the first video or the second video this month is a really cool sign on the high school near our house is failure is the best kind of success. If we don't try, we don't know. We don't know what we can do. We don't grow. We just stay small and just, where we're at. The more you try, the more you grow. And this book has been amazing. So if you are where I was, where failure just was like, did not exist, you could not be friends with failure at all. Like you couldn't even be in the same room with it or in the same like country with it. Grab the book. I highly recommend it. It has been life-changing for me. And even just remembering, like, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Or in Marie Forleo's book that I picked up, she actually has a really close to the same thing, and I really like it too. I win or I learn, but I never lose. I win or I learn, but I never lose, which is such an important thing to remember too, is you don't have to be perfect. I'm trying to tell my daughter that all the time when she's trying to do her letters. She's writing it on the, writing them out, and she, gets really upset if they're not perfect. We have to remember there's no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as perfect timing, perfect anything. It's just going, like we said, face fear, taking action and doing it. Maybe you fall flat on your face. Pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and get back on that horse. Like there's a reason it's like you get back up on that horse or get back up. If kids would stop, like when they started walking, if kids would stop walking because they fell the first time, how many of us would not be walking right now if we gave up the moment we fell down as a kid? So dust yourself off, get back up, and really just start looking at failure as a friend, a place to grow and learn. So at the beginning of this, I asked you, like at the beginning of the month, I asked you, write down things that you failed at and what you've learned from it. What kind of eye-opening experiences did you experience? I mentioned about being in college and failing, and then what I've taken from it. Now, it did take me a couple of years, more than a couple, to really embrace the fact that I wasn't in the industry that I went to school for. But now that I'm where I want to be and my soul is like, yes, and it sings every day and it smiles and it's super happy, I can like look at everything and be like, I had to take that journey to get where I am today. I got to move to a big city. So for anybody that knows me, I live in Ontario, Canada, and I live in a town, like it's getting bigger, but I actually went to school in Toronto. So I got to live there. I got to go on the subways. I fell in love with a big city. I've come to realize that I'm a small town girl, but I did get to, because I grew up in a very, very small town of like a couple, like maybe 50 people at tops, general store, that's it. And I got to go to a big, big city. And that was life-changing for me alone, like if I didn't learn anything else. So really just, if you can look back again and just look at failure with such different eyes, wow, would things be different, right? So what has failure been keeping you from? Like we start out doing something and we can't be perfect right away. And I fall into this trap myself. I think I mentioned it a couple, like on another video this week or this month, that when I started my business, like I wanted to be like people have been in the business for 10, 15 years. I was just starting out. And you have to start where you're at. You can't jump ahead. So it's like going up a ladder. If you want to, like, so your dreams and where you want to be is at the top, but you're at the bottom. Can you get from the top to the bottom of like a 12-foot ladder? Probably not. Hurting yourself. You got to take it one step at a time. You got to get better and better at something. And even if you are doing something really, really like for a long time and you still fall flat on your face, it happens. So instead of, worrying about failure, when it happens, ask like, What is it? What am I learning from this experience? What is it here to teach me? How am I growing from this experience? And instead of letting failure get the best of you, give it a big hug and make it your best friend. Because when we fail, we learn and we grow. And the more you fail, the more you're experiencing. Like that means you're trying things, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're doing things, you're living. If you're not failing, you're not trying. How awful is that kind of life? Not to like make you, sad about your life, because that's not what I'm here for. It's just looking at failure in a different light. It needs a makeover in your mind, because failure is pretty cool. Doesn't need a makeover, but in your mind, it needs a makeover. So remember, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. It is a fun motto to have. And just trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say on failure. Just allow for the possibility that failure is okay in your life. If you've been just taught throughout your whole life that it wasn't okay, like I look back and of course I was afraid of failing. No one allowed that. And there is, what was it? Where did I read it now? Somebody actually encouraged failing. I don't know if it was in the book I read or if it was something else I read, because it's fun. Once I was embracing failure, everything was coming out of the woodwork. Like I was reading the book and things would show up. And once I started really embracing failure, things just kept shining light on that direction. Like, yes, you're on the right path. Like the school sign that said, success is the best failure. But there was this thing where a parent would, after school, ask their kids, what did you fail at today? Because if they were successful, that means they didn't actually grow. They didn't learn anything. That means they've reached their max. Like they are good. But when you fail, that's when you learn. Embrace that. Embrace your friend failure. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I look forward to talking to you again next Wednesday. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I will be back on September 10th with all new episodes of Loving Me, Myself, and Life. So until then, relax, enjoy, keep listening. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so, so very much. Thank you so much for being here and listening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.